Yo, what's good everyone? This is Ayo Boxing from Madiba, and here's my post-fight review of Robeisy Ramirez versus Satoshi Suzumi. And this was a good performance by Robeisy Ramirez. To be honest, I wasn't familiar with his opponent, Satoshi, but nonetheless, this fight showed me how dynamic of a fighter Ramirez is, because I associate Ramirez as a boxer-puncher with the Cuban style, but in this fight, Ramirez was an explosive pressure fighter. In round 1, Ramirez was working behind an active high guard and was fighting on the front foot. Ramirez was primarily looking for opportunities to counterpunch, implementing level change feints to draw out punches. Satoshi, on the other hand, was utilizing his height and length, working behind a stiff jab. Satoshi's jab kept Ramirez at bay, and he was able to work off that jab, but whenever he let up on the jab and stopped using it, Ramirez would capitalize and close distance, exploding with combinations and uppercuts. Satoshi would default to the high guard, but a lot of Ramirez's punches were getting through. Ramirez started to find more success in round 2 with his level change feint and began countering the jab more often, especially with the overhand left. And he would repeat this success in round 3, but in round 4, the momentum would change slightly. Ramirez pushed the pace real hard at the beginning of the round, but would expend a lot of energy doing so. This allowed Satoshi to rally and exploit this inactivity, and he started pushing the pace hard, throwing a lot of punches that landed, mounting an effective counterattack. However, Satoshi would expend a lot of energy and would go into the 5th round gassed. Ramirez would then exploit this and push the pace hard, hurting and dropping and then stopping Satoshi. This fight has solidified in my mind how good Robeisy Ramirez is. In his last fight, Robeisy outboxed and put on a counterpunching clinic in his fight against Isaac Dogbe, and in this fight, he was an explosive pressure fighter that fought toe-to-toe, stopping a taller and bigger opponent. Ramirez is the most dynamic fighter at featherweight, and I have him beating all of the current champions and contenders at this moment. I guarantee you, he's most likely going to be Anyway's first opponent when or if Anyway decides to move up to featherweight, which is most likely going to happen next year after he becomes undisputed at 122. And I think Ramirez has the skill, power, and natural abilities that are needed to deal with Anyway's speed, power, technique, and IQ. But I said the same thing about Stephen Fulton, and we saw what happened with that. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing from Madiba. Hit like, subscribe, and more content's coming your way.